morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another ambassadorial episode of Khmer Times Cross Talk. So, with me in our studio today, we have the EU ambassador to the Kingdom of Cambodia, Ambassador Igor Driesmans. So, thank you, Ambassador, for coming here. It's special to have you on our show today.
Yes.
So yes, how are you, Mr. Ambassador?
Very good, very good. It's a real pleasure to be with you this morning.
Yeah,
looking forward.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, this is your first year here in Cambodia, right?
Correct. I just did just over a year since I got here.
Okay. When did you arrive? What's my
end of August of last year.
Okay.
End of August. I coincided with the swearing in of the new government,
okay.
So it was nicely timed.
Yes. Did you take up any Khmer language?
The tricky question. Not quite. I do speak a few words, but not enough yet.
Okay. Now,
ask me the question again in 3 years.
Okay. I really remember that. I really remember that. So, it has been almost over 1 year already, right?
Correct.
So without further ado, I want to ask you about this time. I mean, how has it been for you personally? Stationed here?
Well, I have to say that the quality of life here in Cambodia is absolutely fantastic. The people are warm, welcoming, the food's good, the weather, the city here. It's been an absolute pleasure to work and live in Phnom Penh, to visit some of the provinces as well. So I from a private point of view, it's been an absolute pleasure.
How about food?
Food, I knew you were going to ask this.
Yeah, I got to ask about it.
No, I mean, obviously it's one of the first things that you taste quite literally when you get here. So I do enjoy a good fish amok, but okay. I'm still discovering some of the other dishes.
Okay. Have you visited some of the Angkor Wat?
Yes, obviously I've been to Angkor Wat 2-3 times. Of course, most incoming visitors want to also visit Angkor Wat, and I'm very happy to take them there time and time again, because of course there's the main temples, but there's so much to see. I think it will take a lifetime to visit all of the temples. So
how about the people? The staff, especially.
I mean, local staff here. I really enjoy a fantastic team to work with. A very dedicated local staff in our office who obviously know the country very well and who can also guide us a little bit on what to do and what not to do. Because of course the culture is sometimes different. But no, I'm very impressed with the dedication and the warmth of the people and of our local staff.
Yes, I believe that over 1 year ago you came here with a mission.
Mm-hmm.
I believe at least. I mean, that's what every ambassador
Correct.
does. Right? You always come here with a mission and the objective that you want to see achieved at the end of your mandate in the state, in the host country. How about you? What are the missions? What are the objectives that you have had? Being here, and after 1 year, what is the proportion of the achievement?
Okay. You sound like my bosses in Brussels.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a few objectives that they actually gave me before coming here, and just a broad brush. Firstly, we across the world want to promote the green transition. I think climate change is recognized by all to be now the biggest threat to basically humankind, and we should treat it as the threat that it is. So also here in Cambodia, we've been trying to work with the government, with different actors, civil society, to ensure that green transition takes place. Secondly, we want to deepen trade and economic links, investment. You know that Cambodia enjoys duty-free, quota-free access to our market, which has led to huge job creation here in the country, and definitely there is more to do yet, because it's also linked to a third point I wanted to make, and that's governance. That we're very dedicated to issues of democracy and human rights, again, not just here but across the world, and there too, that's been one of my main objective. And then a fourth and last one, if I may, it's our investment and our links with youth. 2/3 of Cambodia is under 30 years old. By comparison, in the European Union, it's 1/3. So you have a very young population, and we want to help them, support them, find their place in society at large. So these were the four, say, main priorities I started my work with. So obviously there's varying degrees of success, but I'm here for 4 years, so we'll see.
Yes. Can you in this contemporary world, I mean, we are in a very tense world. It's a world of tension. We have, I mean, our Prime Minister is in Laos right now during the ASEAN Summit. I'm sure they are discussing, the ASEAN leaders are discussing that. We have a lot of crazy things. My language, but a lot of crazy things are happening right now. But in this, contemporary world, how do you describe the EU Cambodian ties? I mean, what does our relationship looks like right now?
Sure. I mean, when you look, say, the big chessboard, I think there's things at an international level which we share with Cambodia. I think we respect that Cambodia's foreign policy is one of neutrality. Actually, if you ask any ASEAN country, they will say they don't want to take sides in the big power battle that is ongoing, China, US, you name it. And we, from our side, we don't want Cambodia to choose for this country or that country. I think what we want is countries to take the side of international law. And in today's very troubled times, the one thing that should all keep us together is the implementation of international law. And that goes for the law of the sea, when we're talking about the South China Sea. That goes for the World Trade Organizations, if we're talking about trade disputes. Or indeed that talks about the very basics of international law. If we look at the Russian aggression in Ukraine and the illegal and justified invasion that we have seen there. And we saw Cambodia taking a very principled stance on that, not just voting, but actually co-sponsoring 3 United Nations General Assembly resolutions to condemn that aggression. So there is on the international level quite a few things that we have in common. Of course, we also have differences, but I like to start with the things that we do agree on.
Okay, how about the economic relations? I mean, I believe EU is just like one of the biggest export destination for Cambodia. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's
correct. We're actually the second export destination for Cambodian products. And that is linked to the fact that we give duty-free, quota-free access to any Cambodian product that wants to export to the European market. Last year, that equaled 5.5 billion euro in financial volume. Now, as I said at the beginning, that has fundamentally boosted and helped the Cambodian growth over the last 10 years. If you look here at the garment factory, footwear, travel goods, we're talking about 700,000 people who are employed in those sectors. And it's been a real engine for Cambodian growth, and it still is today. The reverse is maybe less true, that there's not so much exports from the European Union to Cambodia. And one of the objectives of the Cambodian government has been to try to attract more investment here of European companies. Of course, there are already quite a few. We have a foreign direct investment stock, as they call it, of 1 billion. but it's been their objective to attract more investment. And Excellency Sun Chanto has been to Europe to promote Cambodia as investment destination, and will go again next month, this time to France and probably the Czech Republic to promote Cambodia. And of course, for us, that's also an opportunity to have a conversation about how to attract more European investment, because there's a lot of competition if you're a big company or even an SME, and you have to choose between investing in Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, or Vietnam, but you see Southeast Asia as a destination. What makes Cambodia stand out? And there you have quite a few things going for you. You have a very liberal investment law, but there's also a few things that I think Cambodia could improve on to be able to attract more European investment. Thinking about the taxation law, there's overall issues of governance, there's the issue of skilled labor. On all of these things, we're there to basically partner with Cambodia.
Yeah. We have Khmer Times. We have done some work with the EurCham European chambers, business chamber in Cambodia. Personally, I have worked with them. I have worked with them on the CSR work and stuff. They did quite well, I believe. But how about you? Have you been in close connection with the EurCham, and how do you provide any kind of assistance? Or
Sure. I mean, they're a fantastic resource and partner for us, because every year they come up with this white book where they say exactly line by line what could be improved to attract more investment, to be able to see more growth in Cambodia. So this is very helpful for us, because then we can relay all of these messages to the government or to any other stakeholder.
Okay, I'm sure you have talked with our young Prime Minister Hun Manet, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about him?
Well, first of all, he's someone who makes himself very available for ambassadors, and that is, of course, something that I appreciate, and I'm sure that that's the same. That's also true for some of my colleagues. He is someone who studied in the US, in the UK, so he obviously understands our values and knows where we're coming from. And I think what I have appreciated is that he doesn't shy away from having a conversation about also the issues we disagree on. So that's always pleasant if someone has the confidence and the will to also engage on the issues of disagreement.
Okay, that awesome. You mentioned disagreements. Before I forgot it, I need to ask about that. What are the disagreements? Is it like major?
Well, I mean, I don't know actually if disagreements is the right word, but it is true that we have a different vision on some of the governance and human rights issues. And let me just preface what I'm going to say with this. We do not have any favorite politicians or any favorite political parties, but we are here in Cambodia, but again across the world, in favor of a level playing field politically. So when there's elections and a political party is disqualified on the basis of what is clearly an excuse, then of course that reduces the level playing field and does not allow for fully free and fair elections. If the space for civil society is reduced and people who have a critical voice on the environment, on the scamming, on any other issue are arrested, that reduces the space for civil society, but also for free debate and exchange, which normally is, I think, a good thing. I think everybody will agree that there are obviously limits, but there should be the space for free debate, which would be good for, I think, Cambodian society, but also for the economy, for innovation, and for investment. It is not good news for investors when the news that they hear or see in Europe is always related to arrests or the restriction of political or civic space. There is the additional issue, which is also linked to governance, of the scamming centers, and you ran a very good editorial on it yesterday, and I subscribe to it 100%. By the way, this is an issue that many countries around the world deal with. Organized crime is an absolute scourge for many of us. Yeah. So there too we need to, or we want to partner with Cambodia to help to address it, because it has really gotten out of hand, and then the news that appears linked to that will have a negative impact on any future investment.
Yeah. You know, Khmer Times was actually the first media to really actually investigate human trafficking here. The modern form of human trafficking. You know, like the syndicate. That is what I. This is based on what I talked with the government official. Say, so they said like this syndicate, they took the chance in 2019, 2020, when the government when governments are dealing with the pandemic, and so they took advantage of the financial impacts of the pandemic to lure people in, and you know, to get them involved in the scamming operation. A lot of reports that say in the past few weeks, especially there have been reports released to criticize Cambodia, you know, on its inability to deal with human trafficking, to deal with the online scamming. But isn't it like, personally, human trafficking is just like more than two sides of the same of a coin. It's supposed to be related to other countries. I mean, their citizens are in their country. Correct. Before they come to Cambodia. So what do you think about it? Should Cambodia bear the responsibility alone, or should there be some form of cooperation on it?
There definitely should be international cooperation, because indeed there's the people who work in the scamming centers who often come from abroad and who also end up being victims very, very often. But there's the people who are being scammed and who very often are in the EU or in the UK or the US, Canada, elsewhere. It's difficult for us to make a precise estimation of how many people we're talking about, but there are many thousands of people in Europe who are being scammed from these scam centers. Again, not just from Cambodia, but from other places as well. And you're right, the trafficking part is just a part of what the organized crime problem is, because we also need to follow the money. We need to see where and when the money is whitewashed. So basically there is a whole financial dimension to it. There's the aspect of coercion. There's the aspect very often of also drugs trafficking, because you'll see that a lot of these scamming centers do not operate in isolation, but are part of a wider criminal network. And getting to the bottom of this is absolutely essential, not just for Cambodia, but really for the sake of everyone.
Yeah. Supposing that Cambodian government want some kind of cooperation. So what on behalf of EU, what is your level of willingness? What are you to some extent willing to do in order to help Cambodia with this issue?
Well, I mean, EU, and that's also speaking a bit on behalf of EU countries, can obviously share information, because that's very often the starting point for any judiciary or law enforcement investigation. And I think that would be the basis of everything. And again, that's not just about the trafficking, but that's about all of the aspects of that criminal chain. That's also linked to exchange of information about particular persons that might have transited or not through the EU. So I think really law enforcement is an exchange between agents of law enforcement is essential, but we definitely want to see that this becomes priority, a big priority also here in Cambodia, so that it stops affecting and eroding the wider economy, because that's what we'll see if it's not stopped in time.
Yes, that's awesome. You hit the spot on that one. But you are an eyewitness here. You live here. You stay here. You're working here. There are a lot of content online right now. You know, on this day, information is just like it can be shared in the blink of an eye. People, you know, some information that can destroy you in like 5 seconds. It can destroy you. You know, I noticed that there are a lot of online content calling Cambodia like unsafe, dangerous country, risky country to come to Cambodia. So, as your eyewitness here, as the eyewitness here, can you tell them, is Cambodia that bad? Is Cambodia a safe country to travel?
Well, I mean, of course, living and working here in Cambodia is, as I told you at the beginning, an absolute pleasure, and there's the level of what one would call small criminality, that is pickpockets or any other kind of petty crime, is definitely not higher than any other country or major city. I think it's actually on that level pretty safe. But I do think that we need to recognize that there is a problem of scamming and organized crime. So I think that is sometimes I feel one shouldn't target the messenger too much, but really go to the heart of the problem. As difficult as it is, but it does require full political will on the side of the government, on the side of the judiciary, on the side of law enforcement to actually deal with that.
Yeah. One more thing that I really need to talk about, the 3 letters of doom. You know what I'm talking about?
Tell me.
EBA.
EBA, yes.
Yeah, everything but arms. Okay, so the European Union, they have like taking some away of the EBA proportion, you know, the trade preference for Cambodia. Meanwhile, politicians in Cambodia, some politicians, they say Cambodia is willing to lose that. You know, we are not like giving up our sovereign in exchange for benefit like that. You know, but on what ground are we going to discuss that? I mean, is it any possibility we can actually like, you know, rebuild everything up and, you know, promote trade again?
Sure. I mean, so just to be clear, we withdraw part of the trade preferences, the scheme everything but arms a few years ago because of what we considered violations of human rights, democracy. These are preferences which we give unilaterally. So we give to least developed countries the duty-free, quota-free access to our market to promote your growth. But I think our taxpayers, our parliament also says that if we give this for free, so to speak, at least we can expect the beneficiary countries to respect a few basic international convention on labor standards, on human rights, etc. So when we saw that the political space was being reduced drastically, and when we saw a number of violations against those international conventions, the decision was made to take away part of the preferences. So the vast majority of the preferences remained, and I have explained before how beneficial this has been and continues to be for the Cambodian economy. I think the next challenge will not be so much everything but arms, but it will be that Cambodia becomes a middle-income country, actually slated for 2029. And that is obviously a very good news for Cambodia, because it means that you become richer and you're recognized as such by the international community as expressed through the United Nations. The challenge will be that with this, a number of countries around the world, and that includes the European Union, will change their trade preferences, because we give trade preferences to countries who are poor and not richer. So we will also change automatically our trade preferences, which means that Cambodia, as we say, would need to move up the value chain. So do other types of industries add more value here rather than exporting raw materials, to be able to, say, address the challenges that will come with losing part of this trade preferences as a result of becoming a middle-income country.
I'm sure you talk with Prime Minister Hun Manet. I'm sure you talk with ministers. Are they like, in your own view at least, are you seeing like their willingness, they're eager to promote this, to promote the diplomatic tie, the economic tie between Cambodia and the European Union? Absolutely.
I think all the interlocutors I had in government, but also in the rest of the society, are very keen to strengthen the relationship with the European Union, both at the political level, but also at the economic level, or on the issue of the green transition with Excellency Sopalet, or with any other of the ministers. There's definitely that that willingness and that drive to deepen the partnership, for sure.
Yeah. You mentioned green. I almost forgot that the green initiative, the green policy. What is your evaluation of Cambodian transition to green economy so far?
Well, I mean, firstly, you have, as Cambodia, set yourself very ambitious renewable energy targets, and something that we deeply appreciate. 74% renewables by 2040. And that's something that we want to partner with, encourage in any way that we can. We have a number of programs that will do exactly that, to work on the modernization of the grid, very important, to do energy audits and install renewable energy in 250 factories across the country, work on the implementation of the ASEAN power grid as well, and linking Cambodia with other countries, a big priority. So I think there's a lot of scope to work on green renewable energy with the government. The government announced other plans to combat plastic bags, for example, which are anyone who will drive around Cambodia will see it's still a bit of an issue. And still many plastic bags are used and sold every day, and we fully support the education campaign that the minister has launched. Other example is deforestation, which has been a bit of an issue, if I may say, over the last decade or so. Since the year 2000, 1/3 of Cambodia's forest has been cut. Now the government wants to protect the remaining forest, but also plant new trees, something that I've often discussed with the minister. Again, it's something that we give our full support to. So there's quite a wide agenda of say green priorities that we want to partner on with the government, with academia, civil society, and the rest of the population.
Yeah. It sounds ambitious indeed. The transition, it sounds so ambitious, for small for a developing country at least, like big country, they still having problem, shifting to the green economy. But I'm sure the minister in spotlight. So what do you think, like knowing him, knowing Cambodia, do you think this can be achieved in time?
Well, well, first of all, yes, but secondly, we don't have too much of a choice, and I think the one thing that we do discuss with again Cambodian authorities, but with many other countries around the world, is don't just see it as a threat, but see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
There's opportunity out there for solar farms. There's opportunities there for say the processing of waste, to turn waste into energy. Big industry upcoming. See it as an economic or a business opportunity, both for the government, but also to attract more private investors for be them European or anyone.
Yeah. You mentioned another objective related to youth. Young people in Cambodia, I hope it's still young.
You are.
So how has it been for you? I mean, what in the past year? What have been some of the initiatives that you have work on regarding this objective?
Well, there's quite a few things that we do. We have for a very long time supported primary education here, secondary education. We have in the last couple of years shifted our focus more to technical education. So giving young Cambodians the skills that they need to adapt to the labor market. And that's been a quite successful program, and something that one also needs to see in light with what I just said earlier about Cambodia becoming a middle-income country and having to adapt its industry. It means you require skilled workers. So that technical education is important. We have promoted student mobility, both within ASEAN, having Cambodians to study in other ASEAN countries, but also in Europe. And I'd like to say we want to see much more of them. And as a matter of fact, we will organize a Study in Europe fair 25 October in the factory here. So I'd warmly welcome any Cambodian student who thinks or hopes or dreams of studying in Poland or Spain or any European country to come and listen to the opportunities that are out there, because there is quite a bit of untapped potential. European universities are often open for Cambodian students, but not a lot of them do apply. There is the language barrier, but you'll see there is a lot that is being offered in English too.
Yeah, I hope I'm not too old for that. Last time I get 7.5 on my IELTS test.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now, I believe €1 million question. What should be done? I mean, what Cambodia should be doing and should get done in order to improve the ties with EU? I mean, in your personal opinion, at least. What should be done? What are the agenda? What's on the agenda? What needs to be done in order to, make the two countries best friends?
Well, I'm not sure international relations work with best friends or any of those concepts, but I do think that there's a lot that we do already. Let me just give you a few examples on the development cooperation side. The water that comes out of the tap here is treated in the Bakeng water plant, which is financed by us.
Okay.
We finance 1,400 kilometers of roads in the rural areas. I mentioned to you the technical education program, the environment program. So we have a very comprehensive relationship already. I mentioned to you the economic ties that we have and that we want to deepen further. But obviously we hope to be able to partner also on some of the governance issues and address some of the concerns that we do have when it comes to human rights and democracy, which we believe would be in the interest of all, in the interest of the Cambodian economy and its people. So I do look forward, and I do hope that we can make some progress on these as well.
There's one thing that I really need to point out: cultural relation.
Cultural, yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I grow up watching some European movie. I'm so sad Alain Delon just passed away. Any plan on that? You know, it may not sound like major because we are so different. I'm sure we are so different in terms of culture. But how do you plan to push this?
Sure. Well, every year we organize a music festival, and I think the next one will be next month, if I'm not mistaken. And we plan to do a new iteration of a film festival with European projecting European movies here to Cambodian audience.
Yeah, have to be there.
So and this time we want to go out there and not just remain here within the Phnom Penh diplomatic bubble, but bring the movies to the provinces to project them in universities and show them there. Because if here you go to the big movie theaters in Phnom Penh, you'll see maybe the big ticket in terms of Korean movies or maybe one Chinese or American movies, but we wanna show what I think is a thriving industry for us, our film industry.
Yeah. If you don't mind, tell us what your favorite European movies.
Favorite European movies?
Yeah.
Well, I do have a bit of a weak spot for French crime movies.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm not sure. It's a soft spot for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any title you can reveal?
Well.
Actually, before what to go and what your favorite movie?
Well, let me discuss one other, which we actually discussed in the office the other day. It's called Auberge Espagnole, and it speaks about a bunch of Erasmus students, so mobility students, who go to, I think it's Barcelona, and spend there a year together. So I hope if some of the youngsters watch it, they'll be enticed to first watch the movie, but secondly to come to our student fair.
Yeah, of course. So I think I take enough of your time. But before we end it here, before we conclude it here, I want you to look at our camera and speak what you want for 1 minute.
Right.
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, let me just thank the Cambodian people for such a warm welcome to me, my family, for the first year here in Phnom Penh. I look forward to go meet as many as I can in different provinces, and frankly make the most of the 3 years that I have left to learn more about Cambodian culture, to get acquainted to more people, to more food, and to strengthen the ties between the European Union and Cambodia, because fundamentally that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think that's it for our interview today. So again, thank you, sir, for coming to our studio today. Looking forward to talk to you next time. Okay.
Likewise.
Maybe after your second year. Okay.
all right. Thank you.
Alright, that's it, folks. That's it for our today, and we're gonna see you next week. And for now, goodbye.